So the question that is probably on everybody's mind is what happens next with the Activision and Blizzard case? Microsoft has said that they are going to appeal the decision. They're going to bring it to the tribunal. Bobby Kotick wrote up a lengthy letter over on Activision, and he said that they also plan to appeal. It does seem like this will be ongoing. So what are the chances of success? And what updates have transpired since that initial post? Let's dive in right now. So, as you probably know, because I talked about it yesterday, Microsoft has vowed to appeal as the UK regulator blocked its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. There are still a few important territories that will be passing along their decision. The EU on May 22nd will also be giving their notes or announcement of whether the deal goes through or gets blocked. There's also China that will also have some say in it. And those are the two important ones. We've also discussed in the previous video about the FTC case likely continuing the trial, as now the FTC has a little bit more meat that they can build upon. So what are people saying? So we have a quote here from Pierce Harding Rolls, who was referenced in the previous article. Microsoft has said it will appeal the CMA decision. The Competition Appeal Tribunal site says straightforward cases are aimed to be dealt with within 9 months. If Microsoft wins, it gets returned to the CMA. Chances of this closing this year are now slim. That means we get the FTC case, exactly what I said in the initial video. Surely Microsoft could apply for a fast track procedure for the appeal. I was looking through some cases on the CAT site and the timings. There is a lot of variance. I'm not sure if there is a fast track process. The word slim is probably a bit strong, but I wouldn't be surprised if it ran on for months. That's exactly what Michael Pachter said when he came on. He said, if this gets blocked by the CMA, then they're going to appeal it. And that process could take a very, very long time. Now, an interesting tidbit, this was pointed out by Paul Tassi, and I found it quite interesting because the reason it's being blocked is because of cloud gaming, right? Paul Tassi pointed out that, yes, cloud gaming, the $1.72 billion portion of a checks notes $180 billion industry. One of the reasons it was also blocked is that cloud gaming, something about how it wouldn't allow other operating systems like Macs, for example, to play games. It would. That's very confusing. But when let me focus on the Paul comment here quick. Cloud gaming, the $1.72 billion portion of a checks notes $180 billion industry. The size of the VR industry is 11 billion. Lol. Oh, and for people saying they're just being forward thinking about cloud gaming, the field of experts predicting a huge cloud surge also estimate VR will grow to 227 billion by 2029. So the point of the matter is VR is 10 times larger than cloud gaming right now. And they're predicting that will grow to 227 billion by 2029. What are the odds of the merger's rebuttal actually going through, though? Well, there was a report over on Bloomberg where they discussed that a little bit. And according to the analyst that Bloomberg talked to, the chances are quite slim. So Activision stock is down. It's now trading around $77 a share or $18.19 below the takeover offer. Basically, it's reset to where it was at the beginning of the announcement, around $75 a share after 24 hours on the market. We'll see where it all settles out. I imagine it settles here at 75 because there's still value within the Activision brand. So scrolling past a few of the things, although Microsoft is expected to appeal this decision, many traders and analysts see the UK ruling as a deal ender. Lawyers also echoed that. Essentially, there has never been a successful appeal in the UK on an antitrust decision, said Aaron Glick, a merger arbitrage strategist at TD Cowen. There does not appear to be a path forward for Microsoft. They also have this great analysis of what the stock has done for Activision during this time period. You can say they announced the deal to buy. It jumped up from 65 to 75, and it's largely held in that realm, even given what's going. If you follow stock markets right now, everything's sort of on fire. But even given the volatile nature of it, it's actually gone up as early as March 2023 when the CMA narrowed its probe. You might remember the CMA said they were concerned about the console market, and they actually threw that argument out because they redid their math after it was pointed out by Microsoft that their math didn't quite make a lot of sense. So they threw that out, and then the case continued on. We think trading in Activision is reflecting market views of fair value. Glick says that means the market currently prices in 0 to low probability the deal will close. Well, to be fair, a lot of people have been talking about this case, and the overall sense is that it was going to go through until this morning. Like, the rumors have said that the EU was going to pass it, that the CMA, the big flop there to the console market was a big surprise. I don't think anybody expected one of the smallest slivers of industry to cause the hang up for this. And it's going to be like, what if the tribunal actually does flip this? Granted, everybody's saying that's a slim chance. I don't think anybody thinks that's a huge chance of that going through, but it'll be interesting at the very least. And I'm very interested to see what happens with the FTC case now. Buckle up, because we probably have another year of stuff that's going to come out in this. We already have dates for May. May 22nd is the EU decision. So yeah. Now, IDIS, one of the people who's been reporting on this a ton, has said the following. There's a lot more insight being set out. Jefferies analyst Andrew Urkowitz said he was surprised that the UK used cloud-based gaming as its main reason for blocking the deal. Urkowitz said there is overwhelming evidence that cloud services are beneficial to consumers, and that the use of the cloud by the TV, video, and music industries also inspire broader investment in technology in general. Urkowitz also estimated that cloud-based gaming is less than 2% of the overall gaming market, and that the industry is still several years away from seeing a version of Call of Duty, for example, that is playable on a mass market level via a cloud service. Stifel analyst Drew Krum said that the UK's decision to block the deal was somewhat surprising, as recent commentary from the UK suggested such competition issues have been adequately addressed by Microsoft. So the big question now is, what comes next? Microsoft is expected to appeal the decision, but the organization doesn't have a history of siding with many such actions. Urkowitz said that if the UK turns down Microsoft's appeal, there could be a negative impact on the cloud market. That's interesting. We see this deal, if it is ultimately denied, as slowing down interest by all parties in cloud or subscription services. Oh, what did I just do? Cloud or subscription services. Stifel's Krum said that while Microsoft has indicated that it will appeal the UK's ruling, the company is also facing a US FTC suit against its proposed acquisition, with a trial in that case expected to be held later this summer. Krum said that even if it wins the case with the FTC without the British regulator's approval, it would seem impractical to operate outside an important market such as the UK. IDIS's analysis is as follows. The deal is again in a very, very bad position. Now the decision from the EC is critical again. If the EC block it, it's done. If they approve it, then there's still a tiny bit of hope. An approval from China would also help too, but who knows what to expect now. At the same time, the FTC is obviously going to the admin court in August because there is no way to negotiate an agreement now. The plan was always with the FTC to present to them whatever remedies the CMA accepted and the EU accepted. But now that's sort of out the window. So the FTC has this case in trial, and they don't really have an out in this situation. There's no way they're going to back off now. On the other hand, if Microsoft goes to the CAT to appeal the decision from the CMA, the appeal fails, totally possible, very possible, and they are still committed to this acquisition, maybe they'll have to start thinking about re-fencing its Xbox UK operations. That means sort of reorganizing it in some way. I'm not really familiar with that term, but I mean, he linked out to what it means, and my read on it is that it's sort of reorganizing for regulatory reasons. When a portion of a company's asset or profits are financially separated without necessarily being operated as a separate entity. Anyway, I didn't see it as a feasible solution for the case. It has been used in mergers in the banking sector, but it could be a last resort to avoid the UK blocking the acquisition. I still think it's unlikely to work due to the global nature of the business, but maybe they'll have to assess the possibility now. Finally, the outside date of the merger agreement has to be renegotiated now because the FTC and the CMA appeals will require at least an extra year. So if Microsoft doesn't pull out in the next few weeks, I guess that they'll extend it until mid to late 2024. I think that appealing to the cat makes sense in this case due to the rationale of the prohibition, but will Microsoft have enough patience for all that trouble that lies ahead? We'll see. The question remains now, are they going to stick to this commitment, them and Bobby Kotick and the board over at Activision? Are they going to stick with seeing this through now that this big regulatory body has said, yeah, we're going to block this deal? We have some major concerns. There is currently a 400-page long document that the CMA has provided to the public that I'll have to read through, or just keep an eye out because there's going to be stories populating about that over the next few days. MLEX says a few highlights from the final report. Also, IDIS is saying, in the response to the remedies working paper, Microsoft said that customers would lose out of the merger's benefits and that a veto would be disproportionate. Microsoft also said that the CMA would be overreaching and cutting across the assessment by other regulators around the globe. Some market players told the CMA they believe vetoing the deal was excessive, while others said it would be disproportionate if alternative effective remedies were available. Others said they did not see harm to the competition in the first place. MLEX says that only Sony and an undisclosed third party agreed with vetoing the deal, but the final report notes that 4 other third parties were supporting a block. A fifth said it would be appropriate if a behavioral remedy wouldn't work. Thanks to GoFreak for the correction. Microsoft argued that prohibiting the merger would be tantamount to lowering the evidentiary bar required to block transaction because it is in a digital market. Refusing to consider behavioral remedies in new digital markets simply because such markets are dynamic or evolving has the same effect, making it harder to obtain merger clearances in digital mergers. Microsoft believed that prohibiting the deal worldwide would be disproportionate because it would have an impact beyond the UK, arguing that vetoing the deal would not be limited to the UK and would undermine the deal worldwide. And as such, the effect on the CMA's conclusion in relation to a tiny part of the gaming world, cloud gaming, would have a grossly disproportionate and extensively extraterritorial effect, including denying a non-UK company, Microsoft, the freedom to conduct its business as it wishes outside the UK. So basically this decision, it's going to affect Microsoft elsewhere, like in other territories. Microsoft stated that while the UK laws do not preclude the CMA from adopting remedies that may have impacts outside the country, they also do not permit the CMA simply to ignore the extraterritorial consequences of its actions. Microsoft also told the CMA that the merger had been approved unconditionally in several countries and that the European Commission was engaging extensively with a behavioral remedy. By imposing a prohibition remedy, the CMA would in practice be cutting across the regulatory assessments and remedial solutions of other regulators in other jurisdictions. MLEX also says that the veto should alarm tech companies like Broadcom or Amazon, among other large tech companies expecting to make an acquisition or in the process. Yes, this is totally going to the cat. It's obvious that for Microsoft, this goes beyond the Activision Blizzard King acquisition. There are larger plans here at play for Activision. At least that's what IDIS is alluding to with that final statement. There is a bigger plan here at play for the company. And I think it goes beyond gaming and goes beyond what we're seeing clear as day. They obviously have a strategy. This is obviously a very important acquisition to them. And it's probably that mobile market that they're looking to build. So I do think they take this as far as they can, and they could even start playing hardball like some of the analysts we've had on the channel have discussed. So a few answers. All the documents are finally available, almost 500 pages. If Microsoft and Activision Blizzard are in the mood, yes, we could be here for an extra 12 to 18 months. And in 1 to 2 weeks would be my guess. The deadline is May 22nd. So any day between now and May 22nd, we could also hear from the EU and their decision. That's all the updates I have for you today. But as of today, it does look like Activision and Microsoft will take this to the tribunal with an appeal. Now, appeals are usually denied, so we'll see how they play it if that is to transpire. Like, if an appeal is denied, I think it's done for that territory. So they'll have to come up with some other strategy for the UK. Time will tell on that one. If you like my content, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I got to get back doing it in the middle. I've been off my game lately. Hit that bell. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button to know when this goes live. Thank you so much to the members. I really, really appreciate you. You can click that join button right down there if you want to become a member. I really appreciate you doing so. Honestly, it's the best way to support the channel because it's easy to do so. You get a video without ads, and it's probably the best way you can support any YouTuber who you like. Before I go, check out the full video all about the block. Lots of stuff going on over the next few days. I'll probably be talking about this a bit more. A lot of people have said they're sick of hearing about this, but mostly in the comments, I hear tons of positivity. I hear tons of positive reinforcement for me making these videos. So that is likely the path that I'm going to continue down until I hear otherwise. But I would like to get back to doing, I don't know, some Let's Plays or potentially some live streams where I just play some games more casually. So you see that, yes, I actually do play video games from time to time. But I'm going to get out of here for now. Don't forget, subscribe, like. Here's the video, the full announcement. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.